Hey, this is Amanda here for Greener Demeanor, and this week I want to talk to you about the energy efficiency of your home. Now, I'm not talking about just turning off the lights. I want to know what the structure of your home is doing to help you conserve energy from day to day. That's the insulation, the windows, the doors, the furnace, the water system, all that. How does that work together? Let's think about where energy for your home comes from in the first place. Odds are if you're living in the United States, your home's energy comes from either natural gas or electricity. But there's a few other options as far as where we can get our energy from. You may have a non-renewable energy source powering your home, so something that's eventually going to run out, such as coal, natural gas, nuclear energy, hydrocarbon gas liquids, or petroleum. Or your house might be powered from a renewable source from solar energy, wind power, hydropower, geothermal energy, or biomass. I'm not here to talk about all the technical sides of all those energy sources, but I do want to get you thinking about those energy sources and appreciate where your energy is coming from. So I want you to think about a few questions. Where is that energy source coming from? How do we tap into that source? What are the resources that are put into tapping into that source and harnessing that power? How does it get to your home? Who is involved in all those steps? At the end of the day, who's profiting from you getting that energy? And is this a renewable source, or is it something that's eventually going to run out? And also, is it the most efficient energy source for your home and where you live? Most of the energy for our home is used for heating and cooling, and that's going to depend on where you live, what season it is, how your home is structured, what direction it's facing. All sorts of different factors go into that, but most of it's going to be for heating and cooling. If you feel really dedicated to putting a little time and money into making sure your home is super energy efficient, I definitely recommend doing an in-home audit or a home energy assessment to have someone come out who's a professional, take a look around your house, and give you some recommendations on what you can do to make it more energy efficient. We ended up doing that because Minnesota Energy Resources had like a webinar that you attended, and then if you attended that, then you got a big discount on having an in-home assessment done. So I attended that webinar, and then they sent out someone who was a professional at consulting for energy efficiency for homes. And he walked around our whole house. He was super nice. He kind of pointed out the things that were really good around our house and then the areas that we could improve upon. He did air sealing diagnostics where you kind of seal off the front door, shut all the windows, and then do a blower door test so you can see if there's any air infiltration or any leaks in your home. He had a super cool infrared camera that he used to like scan all around to see if there were any different temperature spots where there shouldn't be, to see if there were any leaks. So that was kind of fun, especially for the kids to see. He did a visual inspection of the house and then kind of an analysis of our energy bills and what we would put into the house and what we would save if we did some of the work that they recommended. And then he also provided us with a low flow shower head and some insulation for some of the piping in our basement. The biggest thing that he found was our attic needed more insulation. So we only had like a little bit of insulation going on in our attic and no ceiling around the attic hatch or around the recessed lighting in our kitchen. So that was the thing that we ended up doing. We chose to go with blown cellulose insulation for our attic because it's a little more eco-friendly. It's basically like recycled newspaper that gets blown into there. And then it also holds its R value a little better, so like it's insulating power over time, especially in really cold climates like Minnesota. So they came out, they did the blown insulation and installed the ceiling over the attic hatch and over the recessed lights. And it is an expensive project, but we did get a big rebate check back from Minnesota Energy Resources for making those home energy improvements. Our home energy consultant also recommended insulating like any part of our house that sticks out over the edge from the rest of the house, but that would have required a lot of work and basically ripping out the whole thing. So we didn't think that was worth it. The money or the work for what we would get out of it. So insulation is one thing you can do to help regulate that temperature in your home and keep the energy that you're putting into it to heat or cool it. And then also windows and doors is a really big one. Now we had just done our windows and doors mainly because they were original in the house, and every time I would go sit near a window, I would start like my eyes would be watering and my throat would be burning. So it was definitely full of mold, and luckily that didn't seep into any parts of the walls or anything. But the original windows were super moldy. We couldn't open half of them. And we also got a new door too, because every time we would walk past our door, you could feel the temperature drop like 10 degrees in the wintertime. So our door was really, really drafty. and so we did have to get a new door and the side light for that too. If you get new windows and doors, that's a very attractive thing for any home buyers. If you're planning on selling your home anytime in the future, that's going to be something that people are looking for so they don't have to do it themselves. So making some of these energy improvements can increase the value of your home. So let's say you can't do brand new windows, doors, and insulation. There's some things that you can do yourself around the home that can improve your home's energy efficiency. Take a walk around your house, see if there's any holes or seams that could be caulked up that might be leading from the outside to the inside, so you can just seal those up. You can get foam covering like this to cover the piping around your house in order to regulate that water temperature going through those pipes. For doors, you can get one of those door snakes that go on the bottom of the door, or you can install the sweeps, so the little flappy thing that hangs off the bottom that kind of sweeps the floor as you open and shut the door. So that should stop some drafts that come out through the bottom of your door. You can use weather stripping, foam tape, foil tape, anything that might have a hole in it, tape it up, put some foam over it, just kind of keep it nice and cushy and wrapped up. For windows, they have the film covering that you can put over your windows and then apply heat, and it'll kind of seal up drafty windows. You can also buy insulated curtains that are a little bit heavier material, and sometimes curtains can help just with the light, either reflecting the light or bringing in the light too. And before we had the inspector come to our house, we had a hot water heater blanket, like the wrap that we put around there. He said it wouldn't have made a big difference in our house, but it depends on where you live, where your hot water heater is located, kind of a lot of different factors. And you also do have to be careful of what type of material you're putting around it and how you're putting it on, like you're not covering anything important up. So it may or may not be worth it for you to use a hot water heater blanket. And then also check with the warranty on your hot water heater, because sometimes they're voided if you put a blanket on. So that one's kind of a toss-up. So those are some things you can do around your home to make it a little more energy efficient. I would recommend having that in-home inspection, that energy audit, and having a professional come out if you're not totally comfortable doing it on your own. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so you can join our 52-week challenge of trying out a more sustainable life. We'll look at one thing every week for a year so you can have a more sustainable life in little tiny steps instead of just being overwhelmed by everything all at once.